we're going to break down everything you need to know about your Social Security benefits for 2025. And look, you're going to want to pay close attention, because if you don't, you could be leaving money on the table that is absolutely rightfully yours. Okay, moving on to your payment calendar. Now, this might sound boring, but trust me, there are a few twists in the 2025 schedule that could really mess with your budget if you're not ready for them. You know, most of us just assume our check will hit the bank on the same day every month. But in 2025, the calendar has a few curveballs. Let's zoom in on September, because it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Okay, this first one is specifically for those of you who receive Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. You're used to getting your payment on the first of the month, right?
You've also got to deal with sometimes confusing payment schedules and some big proposals being debated in Washington that could change your check in a major way.
You know, a lot of us just assume the check will show up on the same day every month. But it's not that simple. Your payment date is actually tied to your birthday. And, holidays can shift things around unexpectedly. And when you're budgeting carefully, that can really throw a wrench in the works.
Let's just take August 2025 as a real-world example. If your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th of the month, you'll get paid on August 13th. Born between the 11th and 20th, your day is August 20th. And if you're born from the 21st on, it's the 27th. Now, this isn't just random trivia. And trust me, knowing this stuff is the difference between peace of mind and spending your afternoon on hold with the SSA.
And look, this isn't some new problem that just popped up. Think about this number, $370. According to some recent congressional reports, that's roughly how much buying power the average Social Security check has lost every single month over the last 15 years. Why? Because those little COLA increases just haven't kept pace with real life.
So, naturally, Washington is talking about how to fix this, and there are two big ideas on the table right now. On one hand, you have the Social Security Expansion Act. This one's pretty straightforward. It proposes adding an extra $200 to everyone's benefit check every single month. Then, on the other hand, there's the American Worker Rebate Act. This is a totally different approach. It's a one-time payment, a $600 rebate check for working Americans, which would also include seniors.
Okay, so this is super important to understand. These are just proposals. They are not laws. I really want to stress that. They could get changed, they could get stuck in committee, they could just disappear entirely.
This first one is specifically for those of you who receive Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. You're used to getting your payment on the first of the month, right?
Well, check this out. Because September 1st, 2025 is Labor Day, your payment for September is actually going to show up early. It'll hit your bank account on Friday, August 29th. Now, getting paid early sounds great, but if you're on a tight budget, it can actually throw your whole month off if you're not expecting it. Now, for everybody else on regular Social Security retirement benefits, your payment date is all about your birthday. For September, it's all happening on Wednesdays. So first up, if your birthday is between the 1st and the 10th of the month, look for your payment on Wednesday, September 10th, okay? Next, if your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, your day is Wednesday, September 17th. And finally, for everyone with a birthday from the 21st through the 31st, your check will arrive on Wednesday, September 24th. So mark those calendars. All right, let's switch gears and talk about something that's flying under the radar for most people. We're heading into Section 3, Washington's proposed boosts. Yeah, there are actual proposals in Congress right now that could mean hundreds more dollars for you. So what's with this number, $370? Well, it's not just pulled out of thin air. According to some recent reports, that's how much buying power the average retiree has lost, not over a year, every single month. All because the official cost of living adjustments just haven't kept up with real-world inflation for years. So to try and fix this, there are a couple of big ideas on the table. First, you've got the Social Security Expansion Act. This one would give beneficiaries an extra $200 every single month, ongoing. Then there's a different approach, the American Worker Rebate Act, which proposes a one-time check for $600, kind of like those stimulus checks we saw a few years back. Now, and this is a really big but, we have to be realistic. As the saying goes, it's a bill, not a law. These ideas are just that, ideas. They could get changed, they could stall, they could disappear completely. So my advice, don't start spending that money in your head.
You've probably heard a big number floating around when it comes to Social Security, right? It's this huge figure that represents the absolute maximum someone can get. And it sounds incredible, but the real story, the one that actually affects your bank account, is buried in the details nobody's talking about. So let's dive into all of it and get your game plan for 2025 sorted out. And there it is, $5,108. That's the projected maximum monthly Social Security check for 2025. I mean, it's an impressive number, for sure. It's the kind of number that gets you dreaming about a really comfortable retirement. But here's the thing. Seeing this number is one thing. Actually understanding who gets it and why, well, that's a whole different story.
Because, let's be honest, almost nobody will ever see a check this big. And focusing on that shiny maximum number, it makes you miss all the crucial changes, the hidden costs, and frankly, the common mistakes that are quietly costing millions of retirees thousands and thousands of dollars. So we're going to pull back that curtain and look at what's really going on for 2025. All right, let's dive into this. For the 70 million Americans who get Social Security, there's one number that comes out every fall that can basically define your budget for the next year. It's the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. And today, we're going to break down exactly what the latest projection means for your wallet.
So let's not waste any time. Here's the number everyone's talking about, 2.7%. This is the current projection for the Social Security COLA increase. It's the figure that's going to directly impact monthly checks for millions of retirees and for folks receiving disability and survivor benefits.
This is not the final word. Not yet. It could definitely still move up. The CPIW is the only number that matters.
And here's the key. The Social Security Administration doesn't look at the whole year. Nope. They zoom in on just one window of time.
Let's get to the bottom line, the part you really want to know. What does a 2.7% increase actually mean for you? Let's translate this percentage into real dollars and see the potential impact on your monthly budget.
If you want to do the math for yourself, it's actually super simple. Just take your current monthly benefit check and multiply it by 0.027. That number you get, that's your projected monthly raise.
Okay, so take a look at this chart. Find your current benefit amount over on the left, and then you can see your potential monthly and yearly boost. For example, if you're getting about $1,000 a month, this means an extra $27. For the average SSDI beneficiary, who's at around $1,600, it's about a $43 increase. And if you receive the average retirement benefit, which is roughly $2,000, you're looking at an extra $54 each and every month.
The biggest mistake is claiming your Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Now look, for some people, claiming at age 62 is an absolute necessity, and that's totally understandable. But way too many people are doing it out of fear. The fear that the money won't be there later, or just based on an assumption. And that one emotional decision can slash their lifetime benefits by tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you claim your benefits at the earliest possible age, which is 62, instead of waiting for your full retirement age or even age 70, you are locking in a permanent benefit cut of up to 30%. And that's not just for 1 year. That is for the rest of your life. Every single check will be smaller.
And this chart just makes it so clear. I mean, just look at the staggering difference in total lifetime money between claiming early and waiting. A lot of people have this idea, oh, I'll take it early and invest it to make up the difference. But the reality is, almost nobody does. And what happens is they end up with much smaller checks later in life, right when medical bills might be higher and they need that money the most.
So how do you avoid this massive pitfall? The answer is to stop thinking about a claim date and start building a timeline strategy. This is all about a fundamental shift in how you look at your benefits, from the short term to the long term.
So what is a timeline strategy? It just means you're changing the question you ask yourself. Instead of asking, how much money can I get this month, the strategic question becomes, how do I maximize this benefit and make it last over a retirement that could be 30 years or more? It's a huge shift that forces you to plan for your 85-year-old self, not just your 65-year-old self.
So where do you even start? You start by asking the right questions. What's your break-even age? The point where waiting to claim really starts paying off big time. How does spousal or survivor benefits play into your decision? How will those rising Medicare premiums affect your check if you claim at 65 versus 70? And how does other income, like a pension or a part-time job, change the math? You have to run the numbers for your life, not just go off of what you've heard.
And please, if you take away one thing, let it be this. The Social Security Administration will process your application perfectly. They're great at it. But they are not there to be your financial advisor. They literally cannot help you decide the best time to file for your unique situation. That responsibility, 100%, is on you.
So let's end with this. You now know why that maximum benefit number is mostly just a distraction.
You know how the COLA and Medicare are in this constant tug of war. So the ultimate question you have to ask yourself is this: is my retirement plan built on a deliberate, calculated strategy, or is it built on fear and assumption? Answering that question honestly is the first and most important step to a secure future.